Hello everyone. I am Kausalya from Department of Mathematics, Assistant Professor from Department of Mathematics. Today we are going to see about probability theory in statistics. In probability theory, a particular part chapter is Bayes theorem. We are going to see today in today's class, we are going to see about Bayes rule. Before we go to the Bayes rule, we have to know about probability. What is probability? Probability is the measure of the likelihood that an event will occur. Probability is quantified as a number between 0 and 1, where 0 is the impossibility and 1 indicates certainty. We can easily explain the probability by example. A simple example is the toss of a fair coin. Since two outcomes are equally probable, the probability of head equals the probability of tails. So the probability is equal to 1 by 2. That is half of the probability. Chance of either head or tails. Conditional probability. The other one is conditional probability. A conditional probability measures the probability of an event given that another event has occurred. If the event of interest A and the event B is known or assumed to have occurred, the conditional probability of A given B or the probability of A under the condition B is usually written as probability of A gives B. And when we have to apply the Bayes theorem, we have the following rules. Part of the challenge is applying Bayes theorem involves recognizing the types of problems that warrant its use. You should consider Bayes theorem when the following conditions exist. Within the sample space, there are an event B for which probability of B greater than 0. The analytical goal is to compute a conditional probability of the form probability of AK gives B. You know at least one of the two sets of probabilities given below. Bayes rule. Bayes theorem was developed and named for Thomas Bayes. Show the relation between one conditional probability and its inverse. Provide a mathematical rule for revising an estimate or forecast in light of experience and observation. Definition. The definition in probability theory and statistics. Bayes theorem describes of an event based on conditions that might be related to the event. That is, probability of A gives B equal to probability of B gives A into probability of A divides probability of B. Bayes theorem is a method of revising a probability given that additional information is obtained. For two events, we have probability of A gives B equal to probability of B gives A product of probability of A divided by probability of B. And the explanation is where A and B are events, probability of A and probability of B are the probabilities of A and B without regard to each other. Probability of A gives B means the conditional probability is the probability of observing event A given B is true. Where alternatively, probability of B gives A is the probability of observing event B given that A is true. And Bayesian inference is a method of statistical inference in which Bayes theorem is used to update the probability for a hypothesis as evidence. It involves prior probability and posterior probability. Prior is nothing but present level of information, and posterior is the revised probability based on additional information. Example of Bayes rule. Mary is getting married tomorrow at an outdoor ceremony in the desert. In recent years, it has rained only 5 days each year. Unfortunately, the weatherman has predicted rain for tomorrow. It will actually rains. The weatherman correctly forecast rain 90% of the time. When it doesn't rain, he incorrectly forecast rain 10% of the time. What is the probability that it will rain on the Mary's wedding? The sample space is defined by two mutually exclusive events. It rains or it doesn't rain. Additionally, a third event occurs when the weatherman predicts correct or not. Event A1 denotes the rains of Mary's wedding, and A2 denotes do not rain on Mary's wedding. And the event B is nothing but weatherman's predicts rain. Probability of A1 is nothing but pi divides 365. Pi divided by 365. Here, 365 is the total days in the year. That is, it rains 5 days out of the year. Probability of A2 is equal to, out of 365 days, we have 360 days. And probability of B given A1 is nothing but when it is 0.9, when it rains, the weatherman predicts rain 90% of the time. And probability of B divides A2 is nothing but 0.1. When it does not rain, weatherman predicts rain 10% of the time. We want to know probability of A1. The probability will rain on the day of Mary's wedding given to the forecast for rain by the weatherman. The answer have to determine by probability of A1 gives B is equal to probability of A1 into probability of B gives A1 divided by probability of A1 into probability of B gives A1 plus probability of A2 into probability of B gives A2. On simplification, we get probability of A1 gives B equal to 0.111. This the probability of the rain prediction. Thank you. Hope you all understand. Thank you.